A radical Islamist group has allegedly threatened Yoruba people for rejecting Sharia law in Nigeria imposed by Fulani Cabal. This news update highlights the rejection of Sharia courts in parts of Nigeria and how extremists are framing it as religious persecution. Some critics argue that claims of Islam being threatened in Nigeria are false, emphasizing that Muslims freely practice their religion without hindrance. Previous warnings about the Islamization agenda in Nigeria were allegedly ignored, leading to the current situation. They claim that certain groups have monopolized key government positions, sidelining others while Yoruba leaders focus only on securing the presidency. Some Yoruba Muslims are accused of supporting the expansion of Sharia law, which some critics believe will lead to Yoruba subjugation. They urge Yoruba people to resist what is seen as an attempt to dominate them through religious influence. Some critics claim that it is too late to stop the spread of Sharia law in Nigeria due to deep-rooted political and economic investments. They conclude with a prediction that Nigeria will continue moving towards Islamic rule, and those who failed to act earlier will face consequences. Let me tell you a story. It is a story of warnings ignored, of history repeating itself, of a nation standing at the edge of something massive, something that could change everything. It is a story of betrayal, of courage, of fear, and of hope. And it is a story that involves you, whether you realize it or not. So sit down, get comfortable, and listen carefully. Because after today, you might never see Nigeria, or Yorubaland, or even the world the same way again. Years ago, when people like Ekpa Nnamdi Kanu started speaking out, many dismissed them. They were called troublemakers, radicals, conspiracy theorists. But you see, the thing about the truth is that it doesn't need your permission to be true. It just is. They warned us that something was coming. They told us that Nigeria was heading toward a major shift, that what was happening behind closed doors would soon spill out into the streets, into the courts, into the very fabric of our daily lives. They spoke of an agenda, one that would reshape not just Nigeria's political structure, but its very soul. But people laughed. They scoffed. They said, "That can never happen here. Nigeria is too big. Yoruba people are too strong. Igbo people are too independent. We will never allow it." And now, here we are. Now, my people, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a fire start from a single spark? It does not begin with a massive explosion. No, it starts small, unnoticed. A tiny flame licking at the edges of dry wood. At first you think, it is nothing, it will burn out on its own. But then the wind comes. The flame spreads. It grows. It consumes. And by the time you finally realize that the fire is a real threat, it is too late. That, my people, is exactly what has happened in Yorubaland. At first it was just whispers, just small shifts in the legal system. A Sharia court here, a law change there. Oh, it is just for the Muslim community, they said. It does not affect anyone else. But history has taught us that things like this never stop where they begin. And then came the demands, the threats, the violence. Yoruba people, once free, now find themselves in a fight they never signed up for. A fight for their own land, their own culture, their own future. Because there are those who want to impose their way of life, not by discussion, not by peaceful coexistence, but by force. And let us not pretend we do not know who they are. A radical Islamist group has openly threatened the Yoruba people for rejecting Sharia law. Just let that sink in for a moment. Think about it. A people saying, "No, we do not want this in our land," and in return they are being told, "Then you are our enemy." But here is where the real tragedy lies, my people. It is not just outsiders pushing this agenda. No, some of the ones leading this charge are Yoruba Muslims themselves. Now, before you misunderstand me, let me be clear. This is not about attacking a religion. This is not about saying one faith is better than another. No, my people, this is about choice. Tell me, where in Nigeria can Muslims not freely practice their faith? Where are they stopped from praying? From fasting? From building mosques? Nowhere. And yet we are being told that they are the ones being oppressed, that they need to fight back. My people, how can the ones holding the sword claim to be the victims? What is really happening here is not about religious freedom. It is about control. It is about power. It is about expanding influence, not by winning hearts, not by peaceful persuasion, but by force. And those who resist? We already see what is happening to them. Now, let me take you back in time for a moment. Let us talk about the Hausa people. Do you know that once upon a time, the Hausa people were independent? They had their own culture, their own traditions, their own way of life. But they made one mistake. They let their guard down. They thought, oh, this is just a small change. It will not affect us too much. They allowed foreign influences to take root. And little by little, they lost control. Today, the Hausa people no longer rule themselves. They have been absorbed. They have been overtaken. Their identity has been rewritten. And if Yoruba people are not careful, the same fate awaits them. Now I know what some of you are thinking. It is too late. That Sharia law is already too deeply embedded in Nigeria, that the battle is already lost. And when you look at how deeply certain groups have positioned themselves in government, in the military, in the judiciary, it is hard to argue with that. For years, while others were busy fighting for power, chasing after political positions, thinking that securing the presidency would solve all problems, these people were playing the long game. They were planting seeds. They were setting the stage. And now, here we are. So, what happens next? What can be done? The truth is, my people, there are no easy answers. Some say the only way forward is resistance. That if Yoruba people do not rise up now and push back, they will wake up one day and realize that they are strangers in their own land. Others say it is already too late, and that the best thing to do is to prepare for what is coming. But one thing is certain, ignorance is no longer an excuse. Nobody can say they were not warned. Nobody can say they did not see this coming, because the signs were everywhere. For too long, people thought, oh, this is just noise. They thought, oh, that can never happen here. But my people, look around you. It is happening. And the question you must ask yourself now is this: what will you do about it? Because history is being written as we speak. And whether you like it or not, you are a part of it. The choices you make today, the things you choose to stand for, or the things you choose to ignore, will shape the future. Not just for you, but for your children and your children's children. So, my amazing people, let us talk. Do you think it is too late? Do you think there is still hope? What do you believe should happen next? Now, let me take you even deeper into this story, because it is not just about what is happening today. It is about what has been happening for decades. You see, history is like a river. It does not just start out of nowhere. It flows from the past through the present and into the future. If you want to understand where we are going, you must first understand where we have been. Let us go back to the days before Nigeria was even a country. Before the British came and drew lines on a map, before they forced different people with different cultures, languages and religions into one artificial nation, the Yoruba people were free. They ruled themselves. They had their own systems, their own laws, their own way of life. But then colonization happened. The British, in their typical fashion, came in, took control, and played their divide and rule games. They placed certain groups in positions of power while weakening others. They created artificial conflicts where none existed before. And when they were finally ready to leave, they handed the keys of power to those they knew would continue their game. And who were those people? It was the same group that is now pushing for dominance today. The same people who are using religion as a tool, as a weapon, to expand their influence. Now, my people, do not get me wrong. This is not just a North versus South issue. This is deeper than that. Because even within the South, even within Yorubaland, there are those who are helping this agenda move forward. Why? Some do it out of fear. Some do it for money, for power, for political gain. And some do it because they truly believe that they are serving a higher purpose. But at the end of the day, the result is the same. the slow but steady erosion of Yoruba identity, of Yoruba independence, of Yoruba freedom. Look around you. Look at the schools, the markets, the courts. Changes are happening every day, little by little. And that is the dangerous thing about gradual change. It is easy to ignore until it is too late. Do you remember when there were no Sharia courts in Yorubaland? Do you remember when traditional rulers had real power? Do you remember when people could speak their minds without fear of being labeled an enemy? Slowly, all of that has been taken away. And the ones who tried to warn us, the ones who stood up and said, "Look at what is happening," they were silenced, ridiculed, even arrested. But now the truth is out in the open. There is no hiding it anymore. And the question remains, what will Yoruba people do? Some say diplomacy is the answer. That if Yoruba leaders come together and negotiate, they can find a peaceful solution. But history has shown us that diplomacy only works when both sides are negotiating in good faith. Is that the case here? Others say separation is the only way. That Yoruba people must leave Nigeria entirely, that they must break away and form their own nation before it is too late. But even that is not an easy path, because the moment you say you want to leave, you become a target. Look at what happened with Biafra. Look at what happened to the Igbo people when they tried to break away. The system was willing to kill millions just to keep them under control. Do you think they will allow Yoruba people to walk away peacefully? And then there are those who say resistance is the answer. That Yoruba people must rise up, must fight, must push back with everything they have. But war is not something to be taken lightly. War destroys, war kills, war leaves scars that last for generations. So what is the right answer? The truth is, my people, there is no simple answer. There is no easy way out of this. But one thing is clear, doing nothing is not an option. If Yoruba people sit back and do nothing, if they continue to pretend that everything will fix itself, then they are simply waiting for the day when they wake up and realize that they are no longer in control of their own destiny. Because the agenda is clear. The plan is already in motion. And the longer people wait, the harder it will be to push back. So my people, I ask you again, what will you do? Will you speak out? Will you stand up? Or will you remain silent and hope that somehow, some way, this storm will pass without touching you? History is watching, and the choices we make today will determine the future for generations to come. Now, my people, let us take a moment to truly reflect on what is at stake here. This is not just about politics. This is not just about religion. This is about survival. This is about the very existence of a people, their culture, their traditions, their land, and their way of life. Because history has shown us one undeniable truth. When a people lose control of their own destiny, they lose everything. Take a look at what happened to the Hausa people in the north. Many do not even know that there was once a time when the Hausa people ruled themselves. They had their own kings, their own traditions, their own identity. But then, gradually, over time, they were absorbed, consumed by an ideology that left them as nothing more than a shadow of what they once were. Today, the Hausa people are no longer in control of the north. Their land, their resources, even their political structures, have all been taken over by a ruling class that does not truly represent them. And the worst part, many do not even realize what they have lost. Because when the takeover is slow, when the change happens little by little, it becomes almost invisible. And now, my people, the same thing is happening in Yorubaland. The question is, will Yoruba people learn from history, or will they allow themselves to suffer the same fate? Look at what is happening right now. Sharia law, which was once something distant, something that many believed could never touch the South, is now being pushed in Yoruba courts. Religious extremists are growing bolder, openly threatening those who refuse to accept their ideology. Even within Yoruba communities, there are those who are actively working to undermine the traditional structures that have existed for centuries. And the most painful part, many Yoruba leaders, the very people who are supposed to defend the land and its people, are either too afraid to speak up or too compromised to act. Some of them have sold their people for political power. Some have chosen to look the other way because they do not want to lose their privileges, and some are simply too blind to see what is coming. But my people, ignorance is not an excuse, because the truth is staring us all in the face. Now, let us talk about solutions. What can be done? What must be done? Because complaining is not enough. Warning people is not enough. There must be action. First, Yoruba people must wake up. And when I say wake up, I do not just mean physically. I mean mentally, spiritually, and politically. For too long, many have been comfortable believing that because they have a rich history, because they have a strong culture, because they have successful businessmen and intellectuals, they are safe. But history has shown us that wealth and intelligence mean nothing if a people are not willing to defend themselves. The Yoruba people must understand that no one is coming to save them. Not the government, not the international community, not even their so-called political leaders. If Yorubaland is to be protected, it must be by the Yoruba people themselves.
As you can see on the screen, Kogi Jihadists threaten Yoruba people for rejecting Sharia law. Kogi Jihadists threatens Yoruba people for rejecting Sharia law. This is a very serious matter, okay? And he said it is time to start preaching jihad in Yorubaland. Now, we are going to play the videos for you to see that what we are saying here is not because we just come out to say it, okay? Things has been going on in Nigeria, and it's important people know where we are today. It is important people know what is going on today. Now, about this issue of jihad, the issue of Sharia, and so on and so forth, it all started to get, weighty when they said they want to establish a Sharia court in Oyo. Makinde rejected it. They said Osun people kick. Before we know, they said they sat in Ekiti State. Now, these people are coming with a different narrative, saying that people are preventing them not to practice their own religion, that their religion is being threatened. That is what they are parading today. That is the narrative, that their religion is being threatened, that they thought they belongs to Nigeria in their soil, that you can't stop them not to practice their religion. And I want to set the record straight that that is a lie. Anybody telling you that the religion, the Muslim religion is being threatened in Nigeria, that people are not allowing them to practice it, it is a lie. Because their constitution, the Sharia law, is the only constitution in Nigerian constitution. These people, what they want to do is that they want to force people to bow to their religion. Now, let me tell you, if you go to almost the whole states in the country, you see that we have mosques everywhere, right? Nobody stops you from building your mosque. Nobody stops you from worshiping the way you worship. But the problem is that people will not allow you to make them to be subjected to your rules when it comes to the Sharia law. That is what people are kicking against. And they have seen things happen, how the Hausas today are totally silenced. What happens to the only, what is it called, 9 northern states of Sharia? What happens to it? Why is it that people are trying to make sure that, they put it everywhere in Nigeria? Anyway, all these things happening today, the question I want to ask you, do they tell us that such a thing will happen? Did anyone predict that what is happening today would happen? Of course, yes. A lot of people predicted that what is going on today will happen. And one of them is Nnamdi Kanu. Let's take a listen.
Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. The same thing is going to happen to you. Traitors, saboteurs in your midst, they will promise them heaven and earth. They will give them anything they ask for in order to ensure that they get into you. They subjugate. Now they have left the Lauren, having taken a Lauren and taken it to Sokoto. They now want to come into Oyo. They want to come into Ondo. Once they take over all those places, it's over for the Yoruba race. Over for you. By the time the Fulanis are done with you, believe you me, if you don't rise up now to fight for your freedom, by the time Fulanis are done with you, you'll be more useless than a Hausa peasant doing Babiala somewhere in Zaria. That is the future that awaits you. Now, our people must understand this very clearly, especially my Yoruba brothers and sisters. It is about time you stop supporting evil.
If you listen to the video, if you listen to this video tape, this video was made about 5 to 6, 7 years ago, okay? That was about 6 years ago now, okay? Now, Nnamdi Kanu predicted that Yorubaland will be taken by people who are using religion to conquer people, not all Muslims, okay? He predicted that Yorubaland will be taken. Now, for you to know that Nnamdi Kanu knows everything that is going to happen, okay? I don't know how, but he knows. Now, he predicted that people that will help them to achieve this are Yoruba Muslims. Now, last week, some senior advocate of Nigeria, former governors who are Yorubas, they took the case to court. That Sharia code, Sharia and all those things must be installed and established in Yorubaland. Now, this is how Nnamdi Kanu foretold that this set of people, these Yoruba Muslims, that they will be the one that will champion the cause of Islamization. Let's take a listen.
Everybody they call a Nigerian, they occupy all sensitive positions, nobody is complaining. They have taken nepotism to a new level, nobody is complaining. Everything they dominate and they control, nobody is complaining. And all the Yoruba does is to say, as long as you give us the presidency in 2023, you can kill, you can loot, you can pillage, there is no problem. Fulani are being allowed to get away with these excesses because they have subdued everybody. Nigeria has effectively become a Fulani caliphate before our own very eyes. The undue influence of Yoruba Muslims in the affairs of Yoruba land will mark the end of them as a great race. I've said this, but I'll keep saying it. The Yorubas, their punishment will come last, and it will be even far more devastating than that witnessed by any other ethnicity. They should mark my words. The Yorubas have not learned from history. The Afonja and Janta Alimi saga is still there. The Abiola humiliation is still there. Ironically, most people hardly learn from any of these past histories, even though we all know that history could easily repeat itself. We know that what the Fulani want, as they have been commanded, is to dip their Quran into the sea, and with the help of Biafran politicians, they are on their way to achieving that. They will plunder our resources like an invading force while enslaving everyone with the help of those that you call your leaders, Haneze and your governors, which incidentally they all planted themselves. Having overpowered most of Nigeria and brought them to their heels, Biafra land is the final target they have set their sights on as the only subsisting obstacle to their grand design. They are therefore converging on Biafra land like vultures. The vast hydrocarbon deposits in Biafra land, which is oil and gas for us, is seen by them as their gift from their great-grandfather Ottoman Domfodio and their God. Luckily for them, the so-called South political leaders are so naive that their impotency and misguided antagonism towards the Igbo has paved the way for complete caliphate domination of the Bight of Biafra. Everybody they call a Nigerian, they occupy all sensitive positions, nobody is complaining.
Yoruba people for rejecting the Sharia law. And he said that it is time to start preaching jihad in Yorubaland. Okay? Now, before we open our lines, I want us to listen to what the guy said. Because I want to tell you that his statements, apart from the threat he gave to Yoruba people, his statements, his confessions was manipulative. It is manipulative in the sense that this guy was trying to play a victim's part, a victim's agent, a victim's person. He was trying to say that the right of practicing Muslims is being threatened in Nigeria. Who does that? Where did that come from? If he said that the right to practice Christianity is threatened in Nigeria, okay, we will understand that in the sense that as a Christian, there are so many things that you can do on your own, but you can't do it when you are not in a Christian-dominated areas like the southwest or the southeast. So when it is time for those jihadists, you cannot even come out outside to eat. If you have a hotel, you cannot even sell beer. But at the end, they collect the tax from the beer. You don't drink beer, but you collect the taxes from the beer. So what we are saying is that there is a great danger ahead of us. Let us not pretend that everything is well, okay? There is a great danger. Where I stay, in my state here, since day before yesterday, there have been a lot of killings, a lot of ambush from the same set of people in the bush killing people. What is their purpose? Anyway, we are coming to that. Let's visit what really transpired on Twitter Space yesterday.
Peace and progress. I think if you want to have um a a very decent conversation, there are some characters, particularly as regard them. For me, I don't know if it is still a cruise to some people, but it has now gone beyond cruise. When the life and religion of a group of people is being threatened on their own soil, where they want, some group of people want to turn a fellow, their fellow countrymen and tribe men into second-class citizens in their own father's land because they practice certain religion. That is no longer, it shouldn't be taken for a joke. No agenda should even be tolerated. My joy is I'm not from the southwest, and I'm not living in the southwest. And God forbid that I'll be in the southwest and then I will have some people want to dictate to me on how to practice my religion. It will never happen. I'd rather die than succumb to that kind of mental slavery. Again, I can never be from the southwest or live in the southwest and then tolerate what the Muslim Ummah are tolerating in southwest today. And it is gradually spreading. You could see what they are doing to the Sultan of Sokoto, the president of the NSCIA, where you have a bunch of vagabonds, and you have a bunch of subliterate, untrained, uncircumcised Yoruba nation terrorists, and their uchens, unleashing all sorts of unprintable names
You
on
understand?
the
It's not
person
called
and
the
office
Yoruba
of the
people
Sultan,
terrorists.
simply because he is playing his role as the leader of the Muslim Ummah in Nigeria. But you do not see that kind of attack when the current president speaks for northern Christians. You will never see any northern come and question what is the why the current president is meddling in the affairs of Hausa Christians, Fulani Christians, Kanuri Christians, Kakanda Christians, and so on and so forth. And so when you now have a particular tribe, and I keep saying it, Yoruba tribe fell so horribly. I don't know where we got it wrong, but it is, I am ashamed that I even have, traces of Yoruba heritage. When I look at what has happened in the last few hours or few months since, the ISP conversation took off, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the people we have even been putting our eyes on as being the most intolerant in terms of religion is very far from it. I say publicly and openly here that the Yoruba non-Muslims are the most intolerant human beings in all ramifications. Not just intolerance against Christianity, against Islam. They are the most intolerant, especially those that tag themselves conservatives. And they have one thing in common. These are people that they don't exist off social media. That is one. Secondly, these are people that they can't even point you to their father's house in that so-called Yoruba land. So it is no longer a cruise, you know. It is now very clear that there is an agenda to completely ostracize Muslims and Islam from Southwest Nigeria. And this is where jihad conversation come about. For those of you bastard that you don't know the meaning of jihad, record the conversation. I want to repeat it again. This is now the time that jihad conversation should be taking place now. Your right to practice your religion is being threatened. That is why you're admonished. You know, that is the only thing you should fight. You can fight. When people are threatening you from practicing your religion, that is what is happening now. Your right to practice your religion peacefully is now being threatened. They don't want you to exercise your right to practice your religion. That is where jihad conversation should come about. Or that's why we should even be discussing it. What did the teachings, what is jihad all about? What is jihad all about? If you have state governors giving voices, you know, to the online mobs and vagabonds, and people who don't even have a name, who don't have a face, you have state government, you have Christian traditional rulers also amplifying and giving them voices, then you should know that you are now at the breaking point. You should know that you are now in a situation whereby you are not in any way better than the Palestinians and the Gazas. The only difference is that while it is foreigners, you know, the Israelis that are oppressing, trying to steal the land of the Palestinians, your so-called fellow Yorubas are the one that is trying to render you second-class citizens in your own father's land. They are the ones that want to ostracize you and your religion simply because they are either too uninformed, or they are just the level of their Islamophobe cannot just be helped anymore. So I would be surprised. I would actually be surprised, you know, if we are having conversation and at the end of the day we allow people with agenda to come and interject it. I shouldn't even be speaking on this because, like I said, I'm not a Yoruba man. I am an Oko man. I'm not from the Southwest. I'm from Kogi State. And as a Muslim, you know, the Sultan speaks for me. I represent my interest. So when you see some group of barbarians from the so-called Yorubaland, Southwest Nigeria, the Yoruba Nation terrorists and their apologists, when you see the unprintable names that they have been calling the Sultan, this is just a warning. Allah of Oyo is not somebody that we can also not drag. The Oni of Ife is also not somebody that we cannot drag. You know, so when you decide to be unfortunate, and then when we now want to push back, you now begin to say, oh, I told you that Yoruba is a Fulani slave. Yeah, yes, I am. My mother is a Fulani. In fact, I identify more with my Fulani heritage. So this will be just, you know, wetting the ground for what will be happening in the coming months, the coming days, and the coming weeks. If I ever come to you to ask for your vote, don't vote. To hell with you and your vote. I don't need the vote of Lagos. I don't need the vote of Oshun. I don't even need whatever your so-called Yoruba conservatism have to offer. They are useless to me. It has never in any way. It is completely useless to me. If I want to contest election, I'll contest in Kogi. My Oko people, we don't discriminate. We are not Islamophobe. So if I come to you for any future election on the Alaafin of Oyo, remember what you said about the Sultan of Sokoto, who is simply representing you. We are still is in progress.
You know, I have to cut out so many places that the guy really threatened traditional rulers because I don't want such thing to appear on my platform, because I hold respect for almost the whole traditional rulers. Because if Nigeria is not being conquered by Britain, your traditional ruler is supposed to be your leader. We don't know who's supposed to be our governors. All these politicians, they are not supposed to be in existence. So everything this guy said now with the issue of all these you know, Jihadist Sharia going on in Yorubaland, when you look at it, do you see any different with this video that I showed you before that Nnamdi Kanu said?
Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. The same thing don't happen to you. Traitors, saboteurs in your midst, they will promise them heaven and earth. They will give them anything they ask for in order to ensure that they get into you. They subjugate you. Now they have left the Lauren, having taken a Lauren and taken it to Sokoto. They now want to come into Oyo. They want to come into Ondo. Once they take over all those places, it's over for the Yoruba race. Over for you. By the time the Fulanis are done with you, believe you me, if you don't rise up now to fight for your freedom, by the time Fulanis are done with you, you'll be more useless than a Hausa peasant doing Babiala.
All right. Now, Mr. Christian, you are welcome to join this conversation. Good afternoon and happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
The last word I'm going to say before I hand the microphone over to you is that it is too late to stop Sharia in Nigeria. It is too late to stop the Islamization in Nigeria. In so many parts, it is already too late. The reason why I said it is too late, it is because of what has been done already, not what they are about to do, what has been done. When you look at the years back, Nnamdi Kanu was warning them about this. He knew what was going on then. This is not a new video Nnamdi Kanu is using to warn them. But today, what are we seeing? Everything he said is just coming to pass one by one. And I'm sorry to say this, but for me, it is too late to stop Sharia practice in every part of Nigeria. So you are welcome, sir.
Okocha, my brother. Yeah. So let me just say that it's prophetic. It's the prophecy of Nnamdi Kanu, the special one sent by God. But God has a purpose for his life. And I can guarantee you that by the grace of Chukwu Kabiama, the purpose will be fulfilled. You know, let me tell you this. I agree with you 100%. It's already too late, way too late. Why do I say that? Is that these Fulani irredentists, these Fulani crusaders, all these proponents of Islamic Sharia law, they've invested so much money, so much time, so much energy into it. There's no way in hell they can go back. No, you can take that to the bank. Because it's not just internationally, locally, they've invested so much. I told you that David Cameron pronounced Nigeria an Islamic country some last year, thereabout. It's all part of it. They know these things. Now, another thing is that I look at it in different ways. One is that, you know, the proverb, the adage saying that when you eat with the devil, you always have to carry the long spoons, right? So the Yorubas, they did not carry the long spoon while they eat with these marauding Fulanis from the Sahel who are following the commandment of their forefather Uthman Danfodio. He told them that Nigeria is a gift to them from Allah. So that is the mindset of every Fulanis. The Sultan, the Sanusi, the Erufai, just to mention a few, all of them, that is their mindset, that Nigeria is a gift for them, you know. So they are using Islam to conquer it. So why do I say, the thing is this, over the years, the Yorubas, they've been collaborating, colluding with Fulani Northerners, and they have been enjoying the benefit of Nigeria economically, politically, the rotating presidency back and forth among themselves, while we, the Southerners, Ndibo in particular, Abanya Ina Gota, then put us for Gota. Even one time, just one time that a Southerner, Jonathan, came in, they still gang up. These two people again, they gang up and they took him out. He only did one term. Now, so what happened is the Fulanis, to an extent, they feel a little bit disappointed that Yorubas are no longer like not standing with them, because they believe that Islam has penetrated Yorubaland so much so maybe it's 40-60% or 50-50 Yoruba Christian in Yorubaland, right? Huh?
Yeah. Almost 70 today. Almost 70. But I don't trust the statistics. Okay, because I did not conduct any statistic. Okay, I did not conduct any poll.
Exactly. So 70 days, 70 days Muslim, 70 Christian, 30 or what?
Other Christians are like 25%.
And Muslim, how many?
70%.
Ah, that don't carry call with that.
So this
Wait,
recent statistics for me is shocking.
manipulation too.
Because that was not it even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Manipulation. Yeah. But hello, you don't hear me? Huh?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you.
Yeah. So the thing is, this thing when they talk, it's no joke. People think it's a joke. This
Yeah.
is bigger than you can ever imagine. Do you know that the likes of Deboye, all these things when they happen, they know about it. I'm telling you
They
the
know, but
gospel
they are
truth.
not talking.
Listen now, there's a reason. Some years back, Adeboye attended a seminar in the UK where they reached an agreement that Islam was going to be the world religion because that every other religion and politics has failed the world and has failed humanity. So Africa, but Nigeria in particular, because let me tell you, as goes Nigeria, it's like America. As America goes, so goes the world. For the most part, as Nigeria goes, so goes Africa. We know that the most populous country. So if they conquer Nigeria, but they've all summed it up already that Nigeria will be an Islamic country. But there's good news, and we'll come to that later. So
Okay.
what happened is that you see this Muslim, like that guy you play his voice on the ground, they are all, they all lie. In London, there's a guy who is from the Middle East, but he ran away because he saw the light and he discovered that what kind of religion is this? He was just enumerating the things that made him to run away. He said that he's from Lebanon. So he told me, for the first time, he told me about this thing. He said they call it takia in Islam. He said that thing means lying to people who are infidels, people who you want to conquer. You can tell them anything, you can tell them all the lies just to conquer them and win them over. And if you check the history, that is what has been going on in Nigeria. The Buharis of this world, every time he opens his mouth is lie. Because according to this guy, he said that in Islam, that is forgivable, it's a forgivable offense before Allah. He told me that if you lie to infidel, people who are not believers, to conquer them, destroy them, or win them over, you go and pray to Allah, you'll be forgiven because you are doing it for the religion. Buhari, everything Buhari says about Nigeria is all lies. All this El-Rufai, there's one they call Shehu Sani, who they come out, that one will come out sometimes and be speaking like a liberal Democrat, but these are hardcore Islamic jihadists. I'm telling you the gospel truth. He welcome Hamas when they come to Nigeria, telling them that they have friends in Nigeria. That's Shehu Sani. So what am I trying to say is that this whole thing, I feel sorry for people. Nnamdi Kanu was saying it. No, people did not pay attention, but he forewarned them. You have to be careful. This is what is going on, and it has to come. If you don't take a stand, and now it's a little too late because first they've won a lot of supporters among them, and they've infiltrated the land with their foot soldiers from the Sahel. They are all in the forest, and this guy is telling you about jihad now, that their region is being threatened. Because jihad means when somebody tries to prevent you from following your religion, that is jihad. So that is what you're going to see start happening anytime from now in Yorubaland. Because the thing is, again, they continue with this lie. I watched a program yesterday on Channels TV. Okocha, can you believe it? On this Channel TV, though my voice, something they do on background, I don't know whether now from your side or my side, I don't know. You hear me?
No, I can hear you so clear.
All right. So yesterday, I watched a program on Channels TV. There's this Yoruba guy, the journalist. Of course, they are the journalists in Nigeria. They control the media, the Yorubas. And the chicken is coming home to roast. Because in life, what a man sow, that he shall reap. Okay, so this guy, he works with Arise sometimes, and sometimes with Channels TV. He works with that Chamberlain. I think the Chamberlain is South guy or whatever. Now, he was there with another woman, two of them. So they had this discussion on the topic was Sharia topic, right?
Yeah. I listened to it.
Okay. Listen, Okoja. To my surprise, because I followed the program from beginning to the end. The three panelists, that were there, they were for Sharia. They were Sharia crusaders, and they call it a debate. How can you have a debate when you have only one side talking? There's no counter. Nobody is countering you. Nobody is speaking for the other side. And Channels TV, they call it a debate on Sharia. That is crazy. Because I listen, like I said, I listen from the beginning to the end.
A rigged debate. That is a rigged debate.
Exactly.
Debate. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then I turn around and say, oh, wow, truly, Nigeria, oh my goodness, there's no journalism. You are by far a better journalist than what you have in this day Nigeria they call mainstream media. These people, no brain, they are cowardice, they can't do, because the one of the guy of all the three said something, and then I was like, I was pinching myself, I was like, so this guy who has been in journalism in Nigeria with Channel and Arise doesn't even know the difference between secular law and and the Islamic Sharia law, stuff like that. Nigeria, of course, we call it secular, but it's not secular, because in the constitution it gives room for religion, right? Christian, Muslim. So it's a multi-religious state. It's not secular, because secular, like the guy said, which is very right, secular is a state where nobody practice any religion. That is secular.
Any religion, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But Nigeria is not secular state. So it has always been
multicultural and multi-religious state.
Exactly. So it has always been a battle now between Islam and Muslim over who is going to eventually take over and turn the whole country into one or the other. Because you remember that some years ago, Christians, they tried to bring about Christian religion, the ecclesiastical religion.
This in the year 2016.
They refused. They turned it down.
Yeah.
Now, but as regards that guy who was talking on background, they played his video, and every rest of them, everything they are talking is all lie. Why? Because you see this Sharia law, they say it's Sharia panel, not Sharia court. But the obvious thing is that Yoruba is gone. Because when they eventually get this Sharia panel, you know what the next thing they will do? You know what we follow? You know,
No.
Is Sharia police will be the next thing to follow.
Yeah.
So when they now have Sharia police, that one now, Sharia police will begin to walk around the street everywhere, harassing people, how a woman dress, why you shouldn't eat on the Ramadan period, how you shouldn't have a hotel selling alcohol, how you shouldn't do this, this is how they roll. Jesus Christ. This is their signature, this is their template. But as I feel sorry, I feel really sad that there are people who do not know that this is their template, this is their modus operandi. They lie to you. They said it's only for Muslim. Really? It's pure lie, bunker. That the Sharia in Yorubaland is only for Muslim, not for Christian. It's all lie. Everybody knows it's lie. The guy saying that knows that it's lie. Because when they start, they will begin to harass non-Muslims. In the north where they are practicing it, they are killing non-Muslims. Deborah is a Christian, but they killed her.
You understand?
Akaluka, you remember Akaluka, many years ago, they cut off his neck because they said that he manhandled Quran. But he's not a Muslim, but they tried him, they forced him into it. As we speak today, you go to those states practicing it. They say it's for only Muslim, but you who is not a Muslim, you cannot drink, you cannot this, you cannot that. So how is that not affecting me? It's affecting me. But they will come and lie to Yoruba people that it's only for Muslims, blah, blah, blah. It's pure lie. I feel sorry. We don't have to waste too much energy on this, because if they fall for it, that is their own problem. Then the good news, like I was telling you, is that it's unfortunate though, because I know that our politicians, our political elders, those imposed on us, because these people, they don't represent us. They were handpicked by the same Fulani hijacked Nigerian system that aims to Islamize and Fulanize everybody. So they put them in those positions. And who puts on them is primarily the number one person. Because let me tell you that when you hear today, Mustafa Ibrahim Chima, an Igbo man, a Muslim. These are the handwork of Hope Uzodinma. He was using money to induce, to entice some of our youth and send them to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. Hope Uzodinma was doing that. because they Fulani put Hope Uzodinma there, a guy that did not win election. They put him there to do their bidding, and they are doing it. But you know that Ndi Igbos, they are different breed. That is why from beginning they were not able to take a hold on Igbo land. That is why, even though we have mosque in Igbo land, but the time is coming. Everybody, because these people are coming to conquer, to subjugate, and to enslave, you take over, begin to plot their emirs everywhere. This is the end game. So that is the good part, the good news, because I can guarantee you that in as much as the governors who are there temporarily, all these Tolu, all these Uzodinma, and the Enugu and the rest of them, they are all breeding ground, preparing for what has been agreed upon, the things they signed into before they were allowed to become governors. Why they are doing that, the Igbo youth, 99.9%, Jesus Christ, we are never, that you can. So if they want jihad, we will give them jihad. Because we don't make trouble, we are peaceful people, we live our life. But if you want to come and overcome, to impose on us what we are not, it will go down. So that is the thing, my brother. But yeah, I don't know if I think you asked another question, but anyway, let's leave it there for now. So obviously, yeah.
All right, sir. So stay with us before we go forward to ask you some questions again. Let us go to WhatsApp and have some callers in. Let us also hear what they are thinking about this, because this issue, we really need to get enough public opinion to understand what is going on, because
it's happening. Okocha, is happening. I just got information this morning from a guy in Nigeria that part of the agreement that Tinubu had with them, more or less, before they allowed him, this Fulani hijacked Nigerian system, was that he will assist to introduce Sharia in the Southwest, and from there they will take it down to other parts. And they have their agents planted everywhere. Aisha Yusuf, that one on YouTube, Asarido, these are their agents. Okocha, heaven bear me witness. The things I'm telling you, they are very smart, very, very pretentious, but these are their agents. But thank you so much.
All right, sir, because I have a lot of questions to ask you about some things you said, but let's get the caller saying hello, good afternoon, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I can't hear you well, sir. If you can be audible. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. About the topic you're discussing, very interesting one. Your guest that said the Yorubas are colluding. I will say partially, there's an agreement after the war. After the war, there's this, when the Northern and the Hausa Fulani big leadership, the Middle Belt was compensated with police recruits, yellow fever, which is this road traffic, and military recruits. Then the Hausas don't join soldiers, they don't join recruits. Go and ask anybody. I can remember the man that brought in Sharia, Yerima. When he was a governor, my brother was in depot then. He was pushing money for the Zamfara people that joined the depot, so that they will remain in the army, because they don't like. That's why you hardly see pure Hausa girl in army depot, because the Southern are the slave. They are the one that need work. They are the owner of Nigeria. You hardly see a pure Hausa girl in army depot or police recruit, except a Muslim. By language. A language Muslim, yeah. So they compensated the Middle Belt called the Fourth War. The Yorubas took seaport as their own bargain. So there is this agenda of let's unite against Igbo, even though we don't love ourselves. Every tribe, there's no way that they say we don't love themselves, but they don't love themselves, but they only pretend to love themselves to unite against the Igbo. So that's why the water that's about to carry them now, they don't know where to waste the water from. Because we join hard there's an agreement, let's team up to fight these people. That's why the history about the war always come from our side. There's no history in Nigerian curriculum, but Nigerian government give history to the people how the war was before the war and how the war was executed. But from the Biafran side, you don't hear any history because there's an agenda. There are many things I ought to say, but if I say it now,
You can say it. If you think everything you are saying is true, I don't think there is any need hiding things. Okay, because if you feel like saying it, you can say it.
I'm not comfortable saying some things.
I understand. No problem.
Because I grew inside Hausa generals. I was born and raised inside them.
Okay.
If you see me, you think I'm a Hausa man, but you don't know that I'm an Igbo boy. They always call me Hausa. They gave me Musa by name. So nobody knows that I'm an Igbo guy except those that know me from birth.
Okay.
So I had many things. So that's why I say your program. I was surprised to see you in Nigeria doing the program. They didn't pick you up.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah, because anybody that talk about something, the things you are doing, they always pick them up. I was surprised they didn't pick you up.
But though I'm not afraid of that anyway.
I was surprised, honestly.
I'm not afraid of that. Maybe someone will come
you don't show that. I'm not afraid of that. I love your program very well. I was watching with the other phone when you called with this one. I was watching.
As I speak to you, I told you that even in my federal constituency since 2 days ago, a lot of people have died. People who never prepared for their death. So at this point in time, anyone who is still afraid of his life in Nigeria,
we lose it.
In fact, he's not worthy to live. If you are still afraid of your life in this Nigeria we are, you will lose it. You are not fit to live. So there is no need to be afraid.
And I hope they don't come because this is how they work. Sorry, brother. Sorry. Some will come. Okay, some will come and tell you that they are worried for you or they are blah blah blah. This their mindset. If you Nnamdi Kanu. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. The corner just dropped.
Very few people understand this game more than Nnamdi Kanu or like Nnamdi Kanu. The way, the level in which they operate, somebody will phone now and tell you, somebody can phone and say, Abibo, Abi this, Abi that, and the next you go say, I'm surprised that you are not in Nigeria, you are doing this, that. So what is there to show? Is it not in Nigeria? They are locking him up, they live in this and that. Many other people are there too. Somebody is coming to say, if you are talking like this, they pick you up. Really? Okay, so then what? If you die today, you die tomorrow, death is death. Anyway, me when they hear, and they talk about this country when I day, if it happens, it happens, I don't care. So this is the mind of the people, and that is why nothing is being done. People are scared to even speak. Just a mere word. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So that is the issue. So about though everything I said in this platform, first of all, is confirmable. Okay, like this news I'm still telling you today, you can go and Google it. So everything I'm saying is verifiable. That is number one. Okay, I don't talk propaganda. I don't talk, maybe, sometimes what police look into is they will look for error where you will lie, where you will not talk true. You understand? They will look for an error. So if they did not see an error,
and defamation, character defamation, assassination, and you don't do that.
Exactly. What? Exactly. So when they don't see that, they get tired because they don't see a loophole to hold you. Okay, maybe the only character defamation you will think that maybe this guy is saying, like when I asked question who formed Boko Haram, I called the man's name. I said Andemodo Sheriff from Boko Haram, and he's working free.
But so it's not your word. But you are not the one who said it.
Facts. Exactly.
A governor.
I'm not going to be afraid to see something like that. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be afraid. By the way, I'm too stubborn. I'm not afraid of anybody at all. So That is it.
Yeah.
And let's go back to WhatsApp, please. If you are calling, you can call back. I've missed a lot of calls. So what we are saying today is that everything happening in Nigeria have been predicted that it will happen, but we did not take it serious. Now let's have a caller. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
It's afternoon here.
Yeah.
Yes, can you off your YouTube there so that you can hear from us?
Okay. Are you here? I'm hearing you clear, loud and clear.
All right. Thanks for joining us. This is afternoon, 3:20 p.m. Nigerian time.
Yes. Yes. Good morning from here. Here in New York City, we stay in the morning. It's just 9:20 here.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My own contribution is that well, my name is Judo Kaf. I'm from Ikaland.
All right.
My own contribution is this Sharia law of a thing that is going to be implemented in Yorubaland. It's a done deal already.
Yeah.
Why I say it's a done deal already is because the Yoruba people themselves, the elite, they are all Muslim.
Yeah.
75% of Yoruba are Muslim.
Including their pastors.
In line with that, they already have the Emir, Sanusi, the Emir of Lagos. And all their governors and prominent members, they are all Muslim. So all those ones they are talking about, we don't want Sharia. Sharia must come to Yorubaland. Yoruba love Sharia, and they must get Sharia. That person that is talking, that young man you are playing the video, he's not a Fulani or Hausa man. He's a Yoruba guy. He says his mother is a Fulani, but he like his mother's people.
Yeah.
But him is a Yoruba man, a Yoruba clan, a Yoruba community that was caught into northern part of Nigeria, like maybe from Kogi or Benue.
He's from Kogi. He's from Kogi State.
Okay. They have a lot of Yoruba community that was caught into Kogi, just like Igbo community that was caught into Kogi and Lower Benue and Lower. That's how they have a lot of Yoruba. Like Kwara State is part of the north, central north or whatever they call it. So Sharia must come to Yoruba land. And Sharia is going to take over Nigeria because first of all, Nigeria is a member of OIC. We should know that. Buhari spent $10 billion in putting Nigeria as a member of OIC. Everywhere you go as a Nigerian, people will first thing they tell you, they will greet you, Assalamu alaikum. You say no, I'm not a Muslim. No, Nigeria is a Muslim country. Official, well recognized, Nigeria is a Muslim nation. Let us not deceive ourselves. Secondly, thank you very much for playing Nnamdi Kanu video. Or everything that Nnamdi Kanu stands for. And everything that Nnamdi Kanu has preached has come to pass. After the independence of Nigeria, a Muslim Fulani man said that this new nation shall be, must be, will be our forefather estate. What would they do? They will make sure they will use the middle belt as a willing tool, and the south will never control that estate. Islam will take over Nigeria. Come to a place like Agbo, Ikaland. We are alien to Islam. But today, the greatest mosque is today built in Ababu, a place called Ababu. To the extent, these Fulani people, they came to Ababu and they came with huge money. How did they come? They start buying orange tree, mango tree, pawpaw tree. They came and start buying all the trees, all the fruit in Ababu village. From there, they go and lure to the Obi of Ababu, and they brought that man over today. Obi is a Muslim. This is how they come. They plan ahead of you. They come with money, with everything. So when they buy your leader, they already bought the people. Because in Nigeria, in Africa, we believe that when the king talk, when the leader come together and talk, they speak for the people. And the people have no choice. So all those ones they are talking, we are not one Sharia. The governor is a Muslim. All of them are, but that's why they have Muslim tickets. And that is why they are fighting very hard to Islamize the southeast part of Nigeria, the Igbo tribe, because they are the only stubborn people that would be very hard to conquer. Because of our religion, our Omenani and Ordinani. We are alien to Muslim religion. But unfortunately, it's too late. And that is why Nnamdi Kanu is still in the prison. Not because of the give us Biafra and this. Because that man spoke the truth. He opened a lot of people's eyes that this is what is coming. Oh, this is what is coming. Oh, our people. We get Gokula.
Yeah.
It's too late.
You can only pursue the black goat when the sun is still up.
Yes, he told us. But what is happening today? They came with Roga. Roga not the work again. Now they come with Ministry of Agriculture or whatever they call it. It's not working. Even Tinubu himself is a Muslim. All of them are Muslim. All the whole governor you are seeing in the southeast. They bought all of them all over. Forget about saying they are not wearing Muslim shirts. They are still bearing their name. But in the other side, they are Muslim. Because that's why before they talk to governor, they must first go to the Sultan of Sokoto and go and put that white turban on their head. That is when they initiate them into Islam. Forget about the dress they are wearing, coat and tie, and they are going to church and calling Jesus. In them, they are all Muslim. If Sharia come to Imo State today now, they will pass it. If Sharia come to Anambra or Ebonyi, they will pass it. The governor, they are all Muslim. They are deceiving the people. Nigeria is an Islamic country, officially. We should know that. Thank you, my brother. That's what I want to contribute.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I really appreciate that from you. Before we turn to the screen, let us receive from other callers as well. It's very unfortunate, though. Nigeria. Okay, we lost that caller. Let's see if we can get another one in. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us. Send us your name.
Thank you. This is Steve calling from Italy.
Okay, Mr. Steven, how is everything?
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.